Historically, it has been challenging to ensure that everyone involved in a project was using the same layer names, line types, colors, and text heights in their drawings. Fortunately, Civil 3D makes it easy to enforce CAD standards, and it does it through the use of styles. In this lesson, we're going to look at the concept of styles. First of all, styles are not uncommon to AutoCAD. For the longest time, we've had text styles, dimension styles, table styles, and multi-leader styles. Using Civil 3D, we now have things like alignment styles, surface styles, profile styles, and corridor styles. Generally speaking, the display of every type of Civil 3D object is controlled by a style. Now, there are two types of styles in Civil 3D: object styles and label styles. You can probably guess that object styles control what the objects look like, and label styles control what labels look like. Let's look at object styles first. I'm going to zoom in on this drawing, and I'll hover over one of these contours. When I do, I can see that this is a surface. I can see the name of the surface, e.g. Notice that we can also see the style that's applied to the surface data. It's called Contours 1 foot and 5 foot background. So using this style, my surface data is meant to look like existing contours with a 1 foot interval. Let's change the style. To do that, I will select the surface by clicking on the contour, and then I'll go over to the Properties palette. We'll find the Style property right here. Let me click to open the menu, and we'll see what other style choices are available. I'm going to choose Contours 1 and 5 Design, and then I'll press Escape so we can get a better look at these. As you can see, now the surface looks like proposed conditions or proposed contours. Now, there's no real magic to styles. What really happened here is when I switched from one style to another, Civil 3D took those contour objects and moved them from an existing conditions layer to a proposed conditions layer. Essentially, Civil 3D is doing all of the layer management for me. Let's change the style again. I'll select the surface. We'll go to the Properties palette. I'll open the style setting, and this time I'll choose Contours 2 and 10 background, and then I'll press Escape. In this case, the surface data is now meant to look like existing contours with a 2 foot interval. As you can see, by simply switching styles, we have control over how the surface data is displayed. What if I wanted to colorize the surface based on elevation? Well, there's a style for that. Let's select the surface. I'll go to the Properties palette, and I'll choose the style called Elevation Banding 2D. When I do, we can see the surface is colorized from lowest elevation to highest. Now, how do I know it's low to high? Well, I can always hover right here and get a surface elevation, 748. I can hover down here and see that it's around 726. Don't forget the rollover tooltips. When it comes to styles, we can even have styles that hide the display of our objects. For example, I will click to select this surface. I'll go to the Properties palette, and I'll choose this style called No Display. Now, here's a good question. How can I change that style back? Now that the surface is no longer displayed, I can't easily select it on screen. Well, don't forget the Prospector tab. This is where all the data is stored in our file. If I open the Surfaces category, I'll find that surface right here. I'm going to right-click on it, and from the menu I'll choose Select. This allows me to select the surface even though I can't see it. Now that the surface is selected, I'll go to the Properties palette, and I'll flip this style back to Contours 1 and 5 background. Now that we know how to change the object style applied to a surface, we can use the same workflow to change the object style for just about everything. For example, let me hover over this alignment. We can see this alignment is using a style called Proposed. So this is what a proposed centerline alignment should look like. I'm going to select the alignment. We'll go to the Properties palette, and in the Style setting, I'll change this from Proposed to, let's try Existing. And we can see what the existing alignment style looks like. At this point, you may be wondering, can we make our own styles? Yes, we can. We'll look at that in a little bit. For right now, I'm going to flip things back. Let me select the alignment. I'll go back to the palette, and we'll change this back to Proposed. When you get a chance, feel free to come back and explore several of the other object styles available in this drawing. Now, let's take a look at label styles. All of the labels that you see in this drawing are controlled by a collection of label styles. If I hover over a label, I'm going to hover over the station label as an example. Note that it doesn't always give us a tooltip telling us the style that's being used. That's okay. Let me click to select the label. I'll go to the Properties palette. And right down here in the labeling group, we can see that this is a major station label style. Right next to it is the name of the style. Let's click to open the menu and see what other options we have. I'm going to try perpendicular with line. Let's open this up and try perpendicular with tick. And then I'll flip this back to where we started, parallel with tick. And I'll press escape. Let's try it with a parcel label. I'm going to pan over and I'll click this parcel area label. We'll go to the Properties palette. Right here next to the parcel area label style, I will open the menu and we'll take a look at parcel name, maybe name square foot and acres, and I'll put this back where we started. Once again, when you get a chance, feel free to come back and explore some of the other label styles available in this drawing. Using the concept of styles, Civil 3D takes the guesswork out of applying CAD standards. By simply choosing an appropriate style, Civil 3D manages the appearance of our data for us, ensuring that all project drawings have a consistent look and feel.